Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel Software Testing. My name is Knott and I'm happy that you're here. This video should have been a live event that I already teased on my YouTube channel, on my social media and on my social media. However, life is happening, right? And there was something that prevented me of doing the live event. And instead of a live event, I thought now it's the time to record the video and answer all your questions from the live event that I had already on my list prepared. So this video is basically the Ask Me Anything video that I promised you when I reached the 1000 subscriber to my channel. So first of all, a very big thank you to all of you to subscribe to my channel. I think we already reached more than 1000 subscribers by now, which is really awesome. I never expected that to be happen in that short period of time. I think it was only like 6 or 7 months until I reached that. For me, it was a milestone. That was my goal for this year, 2022, when I started my YouTube channel in January, to have 1000 subscribers by the end of the year. So it happened faster, and I always had in mind to do like then an Ask Me Anything session. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. And also a big thank you to all of you for your questions. I have a printout of all your questions here. So, and I will read out the questions without any names. I clustered some of the questions because I got similar ones, and created like a bigger question around the cluster of questions to hopefully answer all of the questions that I got from you. So let's get started right with the very first question that I got, and the question was like, how do you end up in testing? Maybe you have already seen some of the videos that I've created. I think it was one of the first videos, I guess, so maybe I will make a link up here where I explained how I ended up in software testing. So, but I would like to repeat it again. So I was studying computer science in 2005 or 6, something like that, and I was working as a working student, and I got in a software development department. And maybe you know it, this is sometimes happening to students, that they don't know what to do with you. You know what? I was a completely newbie to software engineering, and they put me into testing. And I had no idea about software testing, but I liked it, like back then, clicking around without any strategic behind, no test methods in mind, and was just like, I liked the idea of seeing if somebody is broken. So that was my intention back then. And then I had like a really good manager that helped me in getting some basics in software testing. And then I had, I think it was, for me, it was a good thing, because that, and I was lucky to have a professor that gave like a more extended university class on software testing. And then I talked to him, he gave me some more advices in terms of books and so forth. And it was like, okay, this is something that I like much more than just writing code. I mean, maybe you have also seen it when you started your career in software engineering, that many of the students, they would like to be an engineer, a programmer, or whatever. It was okay for me to write code, but I was always in this mindset to see the bigger picture of the product. And that's why I love the testing. And I started my testing career then, and since then I'm hooked. I like what I'm doing, and this is how I ended up in software testing. I mean, it's like many of us, I fell into it basically because I was like the working student in engineering, but I ended up in testing, which I think was a good thing. So that was basically the first question. So the second question is, any tips for someone working in a company where testing is not a priority? That's also, it's a sad situation, right? I mean, what you can do, I mean, if you are hired as a software test engineer or as a quality specialist or whatever you call yourself, is make things transparent. Right? I mean, maybe it's not yet a priority for your management or for your product manager and the team, but don't give up, right? So be courageous and step up and raise your voice, raise your concerns in refinement meetings, in discovery meetings, and bring up the topics that you see that are going wrong at the moment. and maybe to find some people that support your thinking. It may be the agile coach. There might be engineers on the team that have a similar mindset, that you would like to ship a high quality product. And what you also can do is you can do, for example, a risk storming. From the Ministry of Testing, you can go there and see there's a risk storming format where you can. This is something that you can use in order to show up the risks that might be happening in your team or in the product. The risk assessment then is completely transparent and is helpful for everyone to get the thinking of quality and the mindset, and is making maybe the shift in terms of priority, so that testing and quality gets a bigger focus. Yeah, so maybe this could be a starting point for you. That's a good one. The third question is, why did you write your book? Yeah. For those who don't know, I wrote a book. It's called Hands-on Mobile App Testing. I also wrote a second book. It's called Smartwatch App Testing, a similar one, but in a much shorter one regarding smartwatches. Why did I write a book? I never intended to write a book, actually. Because I was never really good in writing in school. Like writing exams and these kind of things, or writing poems was never something that I really enjoyed. However, I started my blog Adventures in QA in, I think it was 2010, 2011. I think it was 2011, when I started into the field of mobile testing. And because back then there was not too many tools on the market. There were not like methods, ideas around software testing for mobile apps. And I thought, like, why not starting a blog, and practice some writing. Also, writing in English was new to me, because you can hear it. I'm not a native speaker. I'm from Germany, and I was sharing my thoughts and my mistakes, the things that I've learned, tools that I used, and I documented it on my blog. And and I just said, okay, maybe somebody is interested in it, and I never expected that people will read it. And there were so many people reading my blog. In 2012, 2013, I got invited to conferences, and I had first time the impression of, mobile testing is something bigger, right? It's important. All of the companies switching to mobile apps, and so they also have to have a high quality. And I think then in 2013, I had like the first time the idea, maybe you can write a book at some point. And then 2004, I think it was 2014, beginning of 14, I was home alone on a Saturday, and I was reading the feedback from my blog that I have got from all of you around the world, and I thought, why not writing a book? It's like it's an ambitious challenge for me. I would like to try it out, and I told nobody. Right? I just told my wife, saying, "Hey, look, I want to write a book," and she was like, "Yeah." He has another like stupid idea in his mind, and I just outlined outlined the content of the book, the abstract basically. I showed it to a couple of people, but I was not telling them that this is like a book outline that I drafted there. I got some feedback, and then I started to write, and then I basically wrote a complete full year, or more than a year, every day after work, late hours, late night, on the weekend, in vacation, because I was really hooked. I liked it. This getting deep into a topic, checking resources and compiling texts, and creating graphics and these kind of things. And then 1 year later, roundabout 1 year later, I published on LeanPub first time. And again, there was like lots of people starting to get the book. It was really nice. And then with the help of the community, thanks to Lisa Crispin and Markus Gärtner, they introduced me to Pearson Education, or formerly known as Addison Wesley. It's a publisher, a book publisher. And they basically gave me a contract, and they printed the book. And then they supported me in sales, marketing activities, and it was really nice to have like a real book in your hands, and that you can go on any bookstore, you can purchase it, you can order it, and these kind of things. It felt really good. And since this year, I have all the rights back, and I published it again on LeanPub. So if you like to know more about my book, check the video description. There's some further links down to the book. So So that's how I got to the book writing. And again, I never expected to have this on my list, on my publication list, but I'm a bit proud that I made it, and also that I got so many great feedback on the book. I mean, I know that it's used also on within Apple. I talked once to an Apple engineer that are using the book in some parts of their app development, and I know that some companies are using it for the complete onboarding for new people, and yeah, that's great to hear, right? I mean, that's just perfect. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah. Okay, let's come to the next question. And how should one start with mobile testing or software testing in general? Yeah, I mean, it's software testing, or especially also mobile testing, is nothing that you learn in university or in any kind of school. You know, I would say it's important to have the curiosity, like a human natural curiosity, so that you would like to know more about how something works out. Why is it maybe not working, and this kind of feeling, and then I would say, okay, just go out and search the internet, go on Twitter and search for software testing. There's so many software testing courses out there. Just to name one or few is the Ministry of Testing. They have a really great set of courses that you can attend. You have the Test Automation University, where you can learn all about test automation, and there's even more out there. There are certificates and so forth and so forth. And of course, there are great blogs that you can read through to get at least an idea about what professional software testing is all about. And then you can go into mobile testing. Yeah, you can go to my blog, find some information there, or also in other mobile testing blogs that are out there, and then start educating yourself. Yeah, and if you would like to test some real products, for example, there are sometimes testing challenges, or even websites where you can sign up for, and you can go and test some products, being it mobile apps, web applications, and depending on the feedback that you are giving, you get paid actually, and that's maybe your first step into a professional software testing direction. And then go and apply. Apply at companies for entry positions, junior level or trainee, to get some more education and to learn from others, from experts. If you can afford it, go to conferences, listen to talks, go on YouTube. There's so many great talks that you can just consume and educate yourself in that regards. And then, be courageous and brave enough to apply to a conference. Sorry, not a conference, to a company. That's also the second question the next question that's on my list is how to get a job in software testing. As I said, if you know some basic methods on testing that you can read on books or on blogs, and then just apply for positions. I mean, it's always good to have maybe some technical background, or some background that is helpful in terms of critical thinking, asking questions, and these kind of things. They really help you to get into software testing, and then apply for jobs. I mean, there's so many people, so many companies looking for software testers all over the world, in remote, hybrid setting, on-site, depending on your skill set. Sometimes they're really looking for interns. Sometimes this could also be a starting point for you to start as an intern and then step up the career path, basically. The next question is important skills for software testers. I mean, that's also an evergreen, right? I think I did a video on that topic as well, like soft skills for testers. And I think, one of the most important skills I mentioned already is this critical thinking and asking questions. It's like, really ask yourself, or the product manager or the team, is it really something that we need to implement? Or is it the right way how we implemented it? Or is it a user that he or she really wants that feature in the next release, for example, right? So this asking critical questions is not critical, but questions is really important. And this ties next to the next really important skill. It's communication. You need to, as a software tester, you need to communicate a lot in different scenarios. So, for example, you need to talk to product managers, you need to talk to developers, maybe to marketing, to sales, to customers, maybe to management. And depending on to whom you're talking to, you need to adapt your language. You need to talk maybe more technical, or you need to talk more high level, for example, or need to be more like detail oriented when you describe a bug or you talk to customer care, for example. So that's why it's important to have communication skills, and that you're also not afraid of talking to people, no matter which level they have, which position they have in the company. Is raise your voice when you think it's the right time to do so. So that's a really important thing that you should have. Curiosity is also an important skill that software testers should have. You should have this natural curiosity. I mean, if you have kids at home or you watch kids, like how curious they are, how they ask questions like thousands of times a day. I mean, I have 2 kids at home as well, and they may ask me so simple and basic questions, but sometimes I just don't have an answer. Yeah, because it's so okay. I need to think about that for a second. And this is exactly the skill that software testers also should have, is asking the questions, be curious, and then to explore products and give valuable feedback. Yeah. Of course, you also should have like a quality mindset, an attitude that you really want like to ship good products to your customers. That's important. It's something that you also can learn while using different products to reflect on the usage and these kind of things. And of course, it's important to have technical skills to some extent, right? I mean, we are testing software products, being it web, mobile, IoT, APIs, or backend applications. It's technical stuff that has been written by someone. So some technical understanding is important, like how the internet is working, for example, with all the different servers, protocols, APIs. This is important basic knowledge that you should have. And then, of course, it's also important to know maybe some tools that you can use as a software tester. It doesn't need to be like an automation engineer from the very first time. You can start with, for example, with Charles Proxy, or any proxy tool, Proxyman, Postman, whatever you would like to do and use to get some more insights about the product that you're testing. Chrome developer tools or any browser developer tools like Firefox, Safari, they all have it. And this is an important skill set to have. And then maybe you can develop some coding skills that help you to write some small scripts for test data generation, for example, or for automated scripts. So this is important things, I would say. Your biggest fail. My biggest fail, is it? I think it's the question is regarding my biggest fail in software testing. I just put the last video was about my biggest fails, and can just repeat myself, is the failures that I had were like in my early years in software testing. I mean, I think we all have done them, right? We are writing extensive test cases, test plans, and that we would just had to rework from time to time because they were outdated too fast, or I was reusing the same test data all over again, and they were kind of used and were broken because the data has changed and my automated scripts were failing and these kind of things. Yeah. And another fail was that starting too late in sharing my knowledge, I have to say. I mean, I started like in 2011, but I had the feeling now that I could have started much earlier. And it doesn't need to be like, it's not a really big fail, but I feel like I should done it earlier within the company and within the teams and within the co-workers that I had. So this is something that sometimes bothers me. It's okay, it's my problem. Next one is also good. Sometimes then I ask this question also in an interview. So it's great that you also put it here, is the best bug you have ever found. And if you ask this question to people, sometimes they really have to think about it. And since I'm asking the question myself from time to time, is I have a couple of bugs in my mind actually that I would not say it's the best bug that I've ever found. I mean, but something that that sticks to your mind. And once we were testing an image upload feature for a web product, and we had a staging system and pre-production staging, it. And I was testing, of course, on pre-production, and I was uploading some images, but the image, of course, was kind of big. There was no like limitation of uploading image size, which was a bit mistake. And I uploaded an image, and this was too big, and I just uploaded it, and then the application did not respond anymore. I was like, okay, I closed the tab, opened another one, uploaded another image, and then a couple of, half an hour later, somebody called me like, hey, what have you done? So, what have I done? I was just testing. No, you brought down like the whole testing infrastructure for the company because there was like a race condition in uploading the image, and nobody could finish their work. But in the end, it was like a critical topic that I found just by mistake, or not by mistake, just by using the product. And so we added a limitation, we did some additional checks, and everything was fixed quite fast. But this was something that stick to my mind. Another one that I think I will never forget is a bug when that I found is we implemented some web views in our native apps back then, and developers implemented a web view, and we were like, I think, a couple of hours before submitting to iOS or to Apple and Google, and I was doing some quick checks, and I tested everything before, but sometimes you have this feeling, let's do like this last round of check. And I checked it, I checked the last commits, and then I saw that some of the developers, they put in the web view a hard-coded URL of a really big, well-known device manufacturer. And it was so funny to see, because imagine like uploading an app to the stores, and there's like a wrong URL that points to the wrong URL destination. It was kind of funny. We were laughing a lot in the team. So this is something that stick to my mind. So what else? That's also a nice one. Thanks for asking this. So you have checked my LinkedIn or my other social profiles. Is why did you move over to product management? Yeah, that's a good question, a fair question. And yes, I was working as a product manager for more than, I think, 3.5 years in my previous company, and I have to say I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, and product management is really something close to my heart. And who knows, maybe I'll be a product manager at some point in time in the future, because I think it's a really great job. It's challenging, but it's awesome, to work with users, to work with the team, with stakeholders, think about next possible features to implement, get user insights and all these kind of things. So it's like a really complete job, but it's challenging. And in 2000, I don't know, it was 2017, I had the feeling that I was kind of stuck in the company that I was working in terms of mobile testing. And I said, I really like the company, I like the people, I don't want to leave it. So what are other opportunities? And I looked around, and I was for half a year or so before, I was like an interim product manager on the Android platform team, because the previous product manager left and they had nobody that could replace him. And they asked me, because I knew the product, I knew the team, and I stepped in, and I think I did a great job, because they gave me this feedback at least. And then a couple of years later, I was at this point where I felt stuck in mobile testing, and maybe I reached, the top with the book, with done conferences, and sometimes you have this feeling of being stuck and bored. And then I asked like some co-workers in product management, hey, there's an open position, and then I applied for it, and then I got the position, and as I said, I really liked it. I worked on different products in those 3.5 years, and but then mid of last year, I got the chance to change the company for this new really great opportunity to be head of software testing, and which I really enjoy, more than a year now, almost a year now, and it's really great. So that's what brought me back to software testing, basically, because I like the challenge of being like the head of a whole department with more than 40 people to work towards different technologies, customer problems and challenges. But as I said, product management is a really nice job, is a really good, also could be a really good next career step for anyone in software testing who would like to do something else despite testing, writing scripts and so forth. So how to start with test automation is the next question. Yeah, that's a good one. How to start with test automation? Yeah, I mean, usually I give the answer is like, what do you would like to automate? Yeah, because I also have seen people, especially also like young people, junior software test engineers, also developers, also managers, saying, okay, we need to automate everything, really, let's automate everything. Saying, nah, why? What are the critical parts? what is the benefit of having automated scripts in place? Because automated scripts need to be maintained, need to be like developed, they need to be like thought of, because they should treat it as production code. Yeah, and that's why I'm always asking the question: why do we need automation? What do we want to automate? On which level? What are the risky parts of the application? Is this something that we will throw away maybe in 1 month or 2 from a software perspective, the product, or is it something more sustainable that is there as a, let's say, core functionality of the product? And then, you know, after we answered all those questions, we can start to think about automation. What tools we should use in terms of automate this product. Is it the right tool? What are tools out there? And so forth and so forth. I think I already made some videos how to select mobile automation tools. And this is similar to all kinds of automation tools, depending on web or IoT. And what I mentioned there is that you should have selecting criterias, right? Write down selection criterias and then answer those questions, the criterias, when you check on the tools on the market. Because that's also some failure that I've seen in the past, that people tend to just pick like, hey, there's the best tool on the market and this is doing all the stuff, but maybe it's not, it's different for your case. So that's why take your time in selecting the right tool and then start with automation. Yeah, and don't just rush through it, because you will regret it afterwards. Okay, what else? Yeah, it's similar. I'm jumping between some questions because I think that's tightly connected to automation. Yeah, what tools can you recommend when testing iOS and Android apps? Oh yeah, there are some tools on the market that you can use for automation. So there's, for example, there's Appium. There is Calabash, which is not really maintained anymore. There is Espresso for Android. There's XUI Test. There's Earl Grey. There's Detox. So just to name a few of the automation tools. But there are also other great tools that you can use when working in iOS and Android. So for example, there is a proxy tool that you can use, Proxyman, Charles Proxy, basically to intercept the communication between the app and the backend to see what's going on there with the APIs. Really important tools. On Android side, I love to use ADB, the Android debugging bridge, to do some fancy things on Android, like to execute thousands of commands and to install an app and to see what's going to happen with it. So they're like really tiny tools that you can already use in order to get some fast feedback on it. Maybe I can do another video on that, on the tool recommendation side, especially for iOS, Android, and maybe also for web. So that's a good one. Though, what else do we have? How to become a speaker? That's the next question. It's also a good one. How to become a speaker? Well, yeah, be courageous and to apply to a conference, I would say. I mean, becoming a speaker is something that you should try out yourself. I mean, maybe you should not start with big conferences, you know, the big stages. Maybe start on internal company meetings, for example, or within your team. Prepare a presentation around a certain topic that you like, that you're familiar with, and then, you know, stay in front of the crowd and then talk what you would like to talk about. And if you get good feedback, adjust the feedback, and then you can send papers to conferences. Yeah, so there's so many testing conferences out there, and apply for it. Of course, before you submit the paper, maybe ask for some reviews from some testing experts, and so ask them on Twitter, for example, or on the various Slack channels out there. Get some feedback and then give it a try. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've done. I mean, the first conference that I attended, I was lucky, I was invited, but I applied to, I mean, hundreds of conferences, but it's also okay to get rejected, right? I mean, this happened to me from time to time still. I mean, this year I got rejected from, what was it, Agile Testing Days, Nordic Testing Days, Eurostar, but it's totally fine. Of course, I was a bit disappointed because I thought the topic was interesting for them, but apparently not. Maybe I was doing some mistake on the abstracts, or it was not fitting to the agenda of the conference. So that's why don't take it personal when you get rejected, but give it a try ask for people, see what the conferences are writing about, the theme, what are the topics, the focus areas, and then see if you can get in there. Yeah, that's how I'm really pragmatic. Yeah. It's also slightly connected. It's how to convince my boss to attend a conference. I mean, that's an important one, right? I mean, I know from many people out there that they have like no training budget, or like a really tight training budget. I mean, the easiest way, of course, to convince your boss is by applying to a conference as a speaker, because then usually you get like the travel costs covered and the hotel, and this is the easiest part. However, if we would like to attend, there are conferences out there that are much cheaper compared to others. Yeah, so maybe try and go to them first. Some conferences, they have a scholarship where you can apply to get the fees reduced. And then, of course, you can outline what's the benefit of going there. Some of the conferences, they do some summary videos on YouTube that you can share with your boss, saying, hey, look around, these were the topics, these were the moments, and then highlight the benefits of you learn more about software testing, you expand your knowledge, you expand your network, maybe you meet potential new colleagues, you can use it as a hiring platform, maybe you can wear it like a company shirt or put some flyers on the desks and so forth and so forth. So these are methods that you can use in order to try to convince your boss. And I really hope that they see the value of sending you to a conference, because you bring something back. You come back more refreshed with new ideas. And then it's important also to share those ideas within the company, because then you might have the option to go to another conference, which then is something valuable for everyone. Okay, there's another one regarding my book. Yeah, how long did you take to write the book? I answered that question already. It was more than 1 year. Constant work on a daily basis, every night, every weekend, sometimes on vacation. So, yeah. Then what else? I skipped the question. Is there's one. Yeah, this is similar to my new role as how is your day as a head of software testing look like? Different from the embedded tester in an agile team. My daily, I don't have a typical day. I would say it's the majority of the time I spend in meetings. I spend in meetings regarding allocating projects to people, hiring new people. But this question was more concerned about my day, how a day looked like. So I started in the morning, cup of coffee, welcome everyone, saying, hey, how are you doing? Have a quick call with my coworker, and of course checking my inbox, what happened there, and then I see what's on my calendar schedule. And as I said, usually it's some project related things, talking to customers, having hiring interviews, one-on-one meetings is really important to me. That I talk to my peers, give them advice on their career, help them in difficult situations, and so forth and so forth. And to a small extent of my time, I'm also working within project for customers. So I'm preparing slides, PowerPoint slides. Sometimes I do workshops, as I said, where I'm doing retrospectives, preparing all these kind of things, and sometimes I do a bit of testing. It's a little tiny portion. I'm missing it from time to time. Yeah, but that's how it is, right? So as a head of testing, you can't do like all the like really digging deep into automation challenges or testing challenges. This is not possible anymore for me. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? What topic are you currently working on? In my company, in the company that I'm working for, we're currently working on our new strategy. We lately transformed from a pure testing department to a more holistic product quality engineering department. And there we are working on the different paths, how we call them. So we have product quality engineering, and software engineering part. And it's more strategic work for me at the moment. And on my side projects like that I do, like this YouTube stuff, and what I do in the evenings or on the weekend is working for other companies, such as Tricentis, Practitest, or AskQI, advising them in terms of what should be the next steps in their product line, or writing blog posts for them and these kind of things. So, because I really like to help others and share my knowledge within the community. That's what I'm doing at the moment. So what else do we have? I think we are almost at the end. Which conference are you going to attend in 2020 and 23? This year, I think I gave 6 or 7 talks already. Not the day before. Like this week, I gave a talk on the Browser Stack QA Leadership Summit. The week before at Lambda TestMu conference. I talked at Test Bash Mobile this year. And some others I have forgotten. I will talk in November in Cologne in a Digital Leader Summit, talking about mobile testing there. I'm also preparing a software testing class for Product Management Bootcamp, which I will give in November, also late evenings via Zoom. Other than that, I just signed up for the Web Summit conference in Lisbon this year, just to see some other conferences, not just pure testing stuff. And Web Summit is a really big tech conference. It's with experts from various industries, and just would like to see what they're thinking of, like, I don't know, green energy, mobility, health, and these kind of things, to get new impulses that helps me in order to create new ideas. And next year, I haven't really thought about 2023. I saw that, for example, Nordic Testing Days just have opened their call for paper, like also the Agile Testing at the Beach, or Open Air, how they call it now. They have a call for paper. I will send some of my ideas to the conferences and see where I got accepted. And then if I'm not getting accepted, that's also fine. I go there as an attendee. So that's the plan. So I think I would like to go to Nordic Testing Days, no matter if I got accepted as a speaker or not, because I really like the community. I like Tallinn as a city, and if you haven't been there, go for it. It's really great. And the last question is, where do you see the future of software testing? I recently wrote a blog post for the who was it? I think it was Practitest. I'm writing too many blog posts for other blogs. Is the future on testing, and I also did a video on top trends for this year, for example. And what I see in the future is, there will be a bright future for software testing. The systems that we're using are so interconnected with different third-party applications or different testing and tool stacks, and so there's a lot of things to do. And I think that we have to shift even more lefter than left before we start with testing, is to actually ask the questions like, why do we need this? Why is it so complicated? Why is it so complex? Isn't there another solution that we could use? And so forth and so forth. I see big trend of course in security. It's an evergreen, but I think security is so important these days. Look at your phone. I think you have your phone next to you. Just watch this video on your mobile device. Everything is basically in your mobile phone, and if you lose it or you get hacked, that's not cool. Other than that, I see the future in software testing is also getting technical, because we have those technical and complex systems. We need to somehow to use tools to actually get more time for real testing tasks. So we have to be more technical in terms of using tools, different tool stacks. It doesn't need to be like writing automated scripts or so, but just using tools to help you to do your testing activities. And for those of you who are curious, I make sure to, this way, in the video description, I put the article that I just wrote. And and with that, I think we are done with all the questions. Let me check again. I think that's it for now. We are already almost 40 minutes in the video. It's quite long, actually. Thank you again for all of your questions that you sent me on the various channels. And if you like this format, send me a message, leave a comment, ask more questions in the comment sections below. I'm happy to help you out. Ping me on Twitter or on LinkedIn to get some. We can connect. We can exchange on topics. And looking forward to the next videos. I already have some video ideas in mind. Looking forward to see you. If you haven't done so far, subscribe to my channel, and thank you, and bye-bye.